Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Saw on the news that Joe Biden is going to be meeting with Xi Jinping next week. And I figure it must be so they can get his final marching orders before he leaves office. I mean, who knows? It could be to try to get 1 foot ahead Donald Trump and try to, establish some good, peaceful relationships with China. But he's probably, what do I need to do before I get out of office? That's probably what's going to happen. The news is also saying that there's talk amongst the Democrats to create a type of alternative government, underground black market style government with its own attorney general that will work against the new system. I thought they'd already done that a long time ago. It was called the Deep State. And I know some of you are probably, well, the Democrats aren't the only ones in the Deep State. Of course they're not. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. Bitcoin's gone back up today. It did come down just a little bit out of the 90,000s, but it's gone back up. It's still fluctuating, but still seems to be a pretty hot commodity right now. And the stock market, although it's down today, overall, the last several weeks and stuff, it's been doing amazingly well, especially after the election. And everyone is pretty excited because there's people making some big time money. Did you see that one guy, someone sold Bitcoin in the last couple of days, something like 2,000 Bitcoins, I think, that was purchased back in 2010. That would have been somewhere around 6 cents, I think, a Bitcoin. I'm not, I'd have to look it up, but I think somewhere around, maybe a nickel, something in that neighborhood. So he paid let's say a nickel a piece, and sold it for $93,000 a piece. That's pretty good profits. A lot of people are excited because there's it looks really good. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to spin it. But we have to kind of come down out of the clouds a little bit and remember what's happening. And I see a lot of comments saying, "Oh, you're looking a gift horse in the mouth," or why can't you just enjoy the moment, or are you just worried all the time? Is that why you try to see the bad in everything? That's not it at all. Not worried. I'm not looking for the bad in anything. And yes, when it comes to government, I always look it in the mouth, because it's government. What needs to be conveyed that I'm trying to do is that while there's a lot of good things that look like they're happening, there's two obvious things that could be happening at the same time. Number one, it's not as good as it looks. It's pretty, fancied up, right? It looks good. They put a nice, pretty dress on it. It looks really good, but what's happening isn't as good as what you think. Or even if it is as good as what it looks like, and the good stuff is happening, there's some really, really rough roads to get there, to get to that good. It's not just going to happen overnight, folks. You have to realize that. And I know most of you are going to say, well, of course we know that. Of course we get it. But what that means is that for us as folks that are trying to stay ahead of the game and stay prepared, we have to not just keep doing it, but maybe push even a little bit further, a little bit more, because while I don't think that Donald Trump's plan is to crash the system and rebuild it as new, it's very possible that that's what could happen, or at least in some sort of manner of speaking. Take, for instance, the economy. If there is true, genuine effort put into trying to fix all this, it's quite possible that things are going to start bursting and popping and falling down, because everything has been propped up for so long and the bubbles have allowed to become so big that it's at a state that no matter what you do to try to fix it, there's going to be some level of crash. Okay, so even best case scenario is what I'm trying to convey. Best case scenario an economic downturn is most likely going to happen. Even if the long-term, long run, it turns around and it's better, and it's more right, more, it's not this fiat fake system. Even if that's the case, it's still going to be a rough road to get there. It's the same way with all this other stuff, like doing away with the IRS and income taxes. I am 1,000% for that. But it's going to be a big upset if that were to happen, or even trying to get that to happen. There's going to be massive pushback. There's going to be lots of people losing jobs. The same thing with kicking out all the illegals. 100% in favor of getting rid of all the illegals. But you're going to have to hire lots and lots and lots more government. So that means government's going to have to get a lot bigger for that to happen. And yeah, you could move them from over this area to this area, but still, it's going to have to get bigger. And there's going to be a lot of chaos ensue of trying to do that, because there's going to be some pushback. A lot of these things, doing away with Department of Education, doing away with a lot of the far left agendas, policies that's been put into place. I personally, and I probably shouldn't say this on YouTube, but it's not the first time I've said things I shouldn't say. My opinion is, and maybe I'm kind of black-pilled, is that the system isn't fixable. I don't think it is. I don't care how good Donald Trump, even if he genuinely is as good as everyone believes he is. I don't care. I think that the system is not fixable. I think we're at a place that it's too far, too gone, too big, too corrupt, too evil. And that really the only way to fix it is to just let it all collapse and fall down. And whether or not that will happen, or that's the intent of that happening, it's either not going to get fixed, or it's going to all come crashing down. And so, because you can't go in and take a house that's rotting at its core and filled with termites and wood rot, and, mildew, mold, and all, infestations and stuff, and go in there and throw some brand new paint on it and say that it's good, or even go in there and do a little remodeling. Sometimes you just have to bulldoze the thing and start all over. And my personal opinion is I believe we're there. I believe we've been there for a long time. And I know some people are more optimistic than I am and say, no, I think the system can be fixed. I guess we'll see who's correct, but I don't think it's so. And so what that means to me is that either A, the system actually isn't going to get fixed. Maybe certain areas will look better, but in the end, there'll still be the same level of, big government spending, corruption, deep state, all that kind of stuff. Or there really is true, genuine effort put into trying to correct all of this, which will cause even a small collapse, which is going to be rough. So what I'm trying to get to, and I know sometimes I take a long way around the barn to get to the front door, is that it is certainly not the time to relax and say, well, we won, the conservatives won. It's time to just, go home and just enjoy the moment and celebrate and go back to life as normal. Life isn't going back to normal, folks. It's not happening. It's either going to completely collapse, and it's going to be a really, really bad, chaotic, destructive, apocalyptic time until it gets to that point that then it's some kind of big global union, global government running things, or it's just going to continue going down the same road just at a slower speed while they try to throw some more band-aids on the system. And in either way, it's just not a good scenario. And so it's not time to sit back and relax. There's still, all those evil monsters that we've all talked about for so long. They all still exist. They all still have power. They all still have money. They all still have influence. And Satan is still out there, and he's still trying to do his work. And we don't know just yet that what is happening isn't his work. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but we still have to be ready. Still have to continue prepping. We are commanded to be set apart, and some of you understand what that means, and you do your best to live that. And when we are set apart from this world, from this Babylon, this system. We have to understand that all of it is corrupt. The good and the bad, the good, quote unquote, and the bad. It's all corrupt. It's all evil. And we have to continue preparing ourselves, our lives, our homes, our families, our communities, and our heart, our soul for what's happening and what's yet to come. Because Scripture tells us that it's just going to get worse. That's not some Debbie Downer conspiracy theory. That's what it says right there in the Word, that it's just going to continue to get worse until the end. And so keep with your preparations. I think for all of us that understand what I'm saying, I think the best case scenario right now is just that we've got a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a time to kind of, it may not be, that the doom may not be as impending as it once was a few weeks ago or seemed to be. So we may have a little bit of time, but it's certainly not meaning to just kind of sit back and do nothing. Go back to being normal. I'm okay. Everything's fixed. I'm ready to be plugged back into the matrix. The matrix was fixed. Donald Trump got elected and he fixed all the corruption and the bad code within the matrix. So go ahead and plug me back in. It doesn't work that way. And it's not going to work that way. And we have to continue to prepare and be ready for when the next boot falls down, because it will eventually. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.